Welcome, golf fans, pursuers of knowledge and the almighty dollar. This is your golf guru bringing you the 2022 Wells Fargo Championship. This is my DFS pick show, including one and done, and this is where we go through deep dive analysis on this field so we can get the top plays that we want to look at from a DFS perspective. Also, you could use these for bets. And with that said, thank you for stopping by. Give me about 35-40 minutes and I'll get you through all this. And let's go talk some golf. All right, so if you missed the preview show yesterday, here's my stroke gain analysis ranking. I'm looking at approach, ball striking. You must hit these fairways. So I got good drives, back in. I was kind of back and forth between off the tee, good drives. I've even included fairways in the bigger model. Of course, looking for good putters on bent, around the green, sand saves. The proximity of the pin that shows up a lot, almost 25%, is 175 to 200. And stroke gains on these long par fours, there's 6 of them between 450 and 500. When you get on these tougher courses, I like to put on bogey avoidance and also birdie. So that kind of gave me a large models that I shared with you guys yesterday. I've got a smaller model that I'm going to share when we get into the picks. And then, of course, the comp courses I want to just quickly go over. I am going to leverage this TPC Potomac. I am going to be looking at the Travelers, which is TPC River Highlands. The Colonial, where they play Charles Schwab. You got TPC John Deere, where they play, of course, the John Deere Classic. And I throw in RBC Heritage. I believe I even put in PGA Championships, TPC Harding Park, which is also par 70, bent grassers, trees, some similarities there. So with all that said, that is the guys that did very well over the last 6 tournaments or 24 rounds. It gets you a nice list of players that you might want to look at. Okay, let's go jump over to Fantasy National and let's go do some analysis. Okay, so I've jumped over to Fantasy National, and as always, my little plug for them is if you are doing any kind of analysis and you want to take it to the next level and you're not using Fantasy National, I would recommend go give it a try. You can sign up for just a 1-month subscription and away you go. And hopefully with a lot that I do here, you can also kind of leverage that to kind of do your own analysis. All right, so what we're going to be looking at, of course, I've created a mini model, which I named, of course, Wells Fargo. You're going to see that right here. You've got all these filter options. I have none turned on because what I want to look at is the most recent form, and that's the last 12 rounds or 3 tournaments, which that's what this model is showing. You've also got, I already did some preliminary, so I did a little bit of bent grass checking, and then I also did fairways gained here you can do. And then the last thing that you're going to be seeing is birdies gained, because we got to have guys that score, right? We need the points from a DraftKings perspective. You got recent results, and of course we have tournament history, which Rory's won here, I think, 3 times actually. But of course that's at Quail, so we will not be looking at tournament history. We're going to have to reference some of these other courses that I mentioned in the comp courses to, if we want to do any kind of course history fit. With all that said, you've got Rory, the single, sitting up there at 11.5. And then you've got, I believe, 4 guys in the 10,000 range. And so I'm only going to pick one. I'll give you my quick explanation. I mean, Rory, of course, had that Masters, that amazing Sunday. Miscut at the Valero, but I kind of felt like he really did not want to make the cut there. I know it sounds odd, but I don't know if he was in it. I think it was just a little bit of warm-up swings. But again, I guess you don't travel to Texas to go home early. But I don't know. It just seemed very humdrum. Pretty decent showing at the Players, the Arnold Palmer, crazy tough conditions, and the Genesis. So that's kind of his round of tournaments that he's played so far. I don't have a huge issue with Rory. I would say I'm a little nervous. You see that proximity. Where he's really struggled is the short game, and what I mean by that is the 100-yard pitching wedge. The putter has been very hit or miss, and then the driver can get a little wayward at times. So with my thoughts, typically, I tell you guys, I like to fade the top guy. Now, this, I believe, is a weaker field. Well, it is a weaker field than what we typically see at Wells Fargo. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and in my top 15 plays, I'm going to fade Rory. I'm not saying you can't play him. I'm not saying that if I build, I don't know, 25 to 50 lineups in the big game or any mass entry that I won't sprinkle some Rory in, but he's not going to be my #1 guy in. Of course, Tony Finau just had a great showing, is rocking it from, the ball striking. Now, I think these greens are a lot more complex and tougher, which we typically know that's where Tony is going to struggle. And on those past palms, he was able to kind of through the days dial it in. And you can kind of pick a line and smash it on past palm. This is not that way. There's going to be a lot more break. There's going to be a lot more speed control. Again, I couldn't fault you if you're putting a ton of lineups in. I'm not saying I might not put a couple Tony Finau's, but he, of course, is not my main guy in either. Moving down the board, you got Abraham Answer. His game, 10-4, I think is a ridiculous price for Abraham Answer. I mean, you can see here, I don't have to go through a lot of analysis, but a couple missed cuts. He would be a great fit for this course if he was, last summer when he won the WGC FedEx St. Jude, where he was showing form. Now, of course, these guys can turn it on and off. He was also hurt. Maybe that back is still getting better. He made it through 4 rounds of golf, made the cut, I think, on the number, if I remember correctly. For 10-4, I'm going to pass on the top 3 guys, and I'm going to fall to Corey Connors. You can see he's been playing great golf, had that T6 at the Masters, also bent greens. RBC, where he should do well. I mean, this is a perfect course fit. You can also see projected ownership. I think out of all these guys is the highest. So, I mean, if you're looking to differentiate, get off Corey Connors. You might want to go different. You can see, we'll go click on him, and you're going to see that driving accuracy, all these guys that I picked, except maybe Cameron Young, is 60% or higher. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not worried about the distance. This is kind of back to RBC, even though, funny enough, a lot of bombers kind of did well there. And like I said, I think that course is a little changed from what we knew past history. Let's go take a look where he's had his best showing. So Bermuda guy typically does well on Bermuda. All these are Bermuda surfaces except for the Masters, where he's had a couple good showings, are bent. And we just real quickly here, he did gain almost 2 strokes, which is good to see at RBC, but really small greens, so that kind of makes sense. Not that tough of putts. The Masters, we don't have the stroke gain data, but I would guess he gained a little, or at least broke even to end up with that 6. Let me see also the Valero. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I see that would be a bent green that he's had a good showing on. East Lake, I was just checking, is Bermuda. Nothing that screams out to me, but the tee to green is what I like about Corey Connors. That's what everybody else likes. It's what is the putter going to do on these, faster bent greens. The next guy, which I like, Matthew Fitzpatrick. But again, I'm trying to give you guys the players that you could actually use and build complete lineups with. So my next guy would have been Fitzpatrick out of the top, 5 guys. So I'll be playing a bit of Fitzpatrick also. I recommend him. You can see, again, his ownership's up there. He does everything that I'm looking for. Let me go click on him real fast. You can see driving accuracy is pretty close over the last 12 months of what Corey Connors at 66%. You can see he ticks everything here. Maybe he doesn't score as well on those 6 long par 4s. And, above average on this field on that 175 to 200. You can see it's been kind of hit or miss. The RBC Heritage miscut was kind of shocking. That burned quite a few people. Hence, I'll be curious what his projected ownership actually shakes out. But good showing at the Masters, Valspar, miscut the players. I don't remember what his tee times, how it worked out for him. But a good showing at the very difficult Arnold Palmer conditions at T9. So, again, I think Fitzpatrick, and also that's where he has done his best work, is on some of these shorter tracks. Terrell Hatton's interesting. I think from that whole approach side, makes total sense. But his accuracy, and that guy just gets so triggered. I'm a fan of Terrell Hatton. He just makes me laugh, the guy, to watch him play. But at 9,900, it's too much of a risk for me. You can see his best showing was at Arnold Palmer. Not a bad showing at the Players. Valspar, you got the Masters, not the best, but made the cut. And then RBC at a T26. So kind of out for 9,900. I'm going to pass on him. Mark Leishman, his game is just, for me, I've watched quite a bit of Leishman, and it's not been horrific. There was a point, what was it? I don't know, it was last summer or the previous summer. It doesn't matter, where he was a disaster. But his putter, he's just not making putts. And that's a key. I've always said, I look at him as, the kind of the Cam Smith light. If you have Cam Smith and Mark Leishman in the same field, and, Leishman's 1,000 less, and you need to plug someone that you like, that kind of player, the around the green, pretty decent ball striker, but good putter, you would put in Leishman. But that's just not where his game's been. Kind of started the year pretty well, a T16, T15, and then it's kind of fallen off. And then even if you got to watch him in the the Zurich, you know, just not making putts. Now, can that change? For sure. Let's go click on Leishman. I'm just curious what it shows up on his split. So you can see bent, pretty much just dead neutral. Let's go look at that putter, see how accurate or inaccurate I am. So, kind of what I mentioned, you know, starting in the new year, you know, gained a little bit at the Sony. I mean, barely. I mean, you could almost say neutral, neutral to the field, neutral, neutral. His best showing was at the Genesis on POA, gained 3 strokes. So, yeah, until that putter, I mean, like I said, that could click at any time. Typically is a good putter, but just hasn't had it. So, I'm going to go to someone that is a terrible putter, but has actually been in really good form. Models out really well. You can see he's been making a ton of birdies, and actually didn't have that bad of a showing at the Zurich in the team event. But yeah, nice showing at the Valero. Kind of crazy he missed a cut at the Valspar where he contended with Sam Burns the previous year to win that thing. Good showing at the Players. Really good showing at very difficult conditions at the Arnold Palmer. And for the Genesis, nothing to write home about. But you can see everything that I like. I mean, it's going to come down to the putter. We'll go click on Keegan. You can see he's just one tick below, you know, the 60% I'm looking for, but I know ultimately, typically Keegan is going to drive it. I mean, you can see over his 270 tournaments, he gains off the tee, gains on approach. It's the putter that typically will hold him back. The best putting showing he had was at Arnold Palmer recently. Gained a little bit the Valspar, but just, you know, the irons were trash. But this is what I like. These irons have been firing over the other 2 rounds. Let's go see also what kind of put me, I forgot about this, was when I pull up his past wins or best finishes. Now, some of this is going to be a bit dated, but if we go like to the BMW that was played at Aroniminic, whatever that is, I mean, it's a while ago. If you look, it's a par 70, bent greens, you know, not that long between, you know, I guess a little over 7,200. So that was kind of interesting to me. And then this WGC Bridgestone back in the day at Firestone, par 70, bent. Again, you know, just under, I'd say 72, 7,300. Lightning fast greens. Everything's very difficult. Firestone's a tough track. Kind of shocked they still don't play there. The Travelers, which I think is the best comp course that we have. TPC River Highlands, par 70, bent. So it just keeps coming up over and over. And you can even see from a betting odds, it's just kind of shocked that Keegan Bradley, I don't remember exactly, but I think he's somewhere like 20 to 1, 30 to 1. Maybe he's 40 to 1. It doesn't matter. He's not where I think Keegan should be. But this field, as I said, I think is a bit weak for the Wells Fargo. All right, so I'm going to go with Keegan. And one of my favorite plays, I put him on yesterday. I told you I had 2 very, very early bets. Of course, Russ Henley just keeps getting my money, and I'm just waiting for that win. He's been so close, should have won at the Sony, which, again, short track, not a terrible fit for this, but not the same kind of green type. But you can see he leads this field on approach over the last 12 rounds. He's making birdies. Little shocker on the RBC, but he doesn't typically have that good a showing at Harbour Town. But not a bad Masters, good players, good Arnold, Palmer. Of course, I mentioned the Sony where he had the playoff loss to Hideki. You can see, though, the ball striking off the tee is a little worrisome, but everything else is top tier. You can see typically he drives the ball very accurately, 67%. Bermuda is his better surface over his career, but he does gain on bent slightly. And the reason why at RBC, it was just a putter. For whatever reason, he lost 4 strokes to the field putting on Bermuda on very small green. So I have no idea what was happening. I don't think I got to watch a lot of him. But yeah, pretty solid, like I said, start of the year. I mean, even in the fall, right? The Houston, the RSM, the Sony, there's the Amex, the Phoenix. I mean, everything's pretty solid there. And I'll just scroll through, of course, his good showings out there. There's the John Deere, which makes me interested. So that's another really good comparable. It's a par 71, but it's bent, less than 7,200 yards, very similar. It's got the trees, got the, up and down kind of hills. We go back on him. Sorry about that. What else would we want to see? The irons, he gained 11 strokes on the field at the Players. That's crazy. I don't remember that, but he is elite with the irons, no matter if you like him or not. You can see off the tee, kind of was not the best, but gained it back, at RBC. So feel pretty comfortable. Hopefully he just sticks in form we need. We need guys to hit fairways here. All right, Gary Woodland, funny enough, shows up number 1 on my model. You can see everything looks good. Really, I don't, for that field, the Mexico Open, he really kind of let me down. The putter went back to typical Gary Woodland putting, but I, couldn't fault you for playing Gary Woodland. I'll sprinkle him in, but he's not going to be a main core play. You got Patrick Reed. Side note that he changed drivers. So I don't know what PXG, I don't know the specifics, but I just know he changed drivers. I'm guessing PXG built him something different. He was struggling quite heavily with the driver. Let's go, because I didn't have the Mexico Open stroke gain information, but they did finally get it in here. So you can see he gained a little bit off the tee, but, was losing big time with the driver for a while. I mean, you can just see it was a disaster. Really, over his, last 12 rounds, he's only gained, or at least been neutral with the driver. Gained a little bit with the putter. The irons weren't too hot, and of course, he didn't have a very good Sunday. I'm not saying to play Patrick Reed. I'm just letting you know, giving you all the information that I have, that he has changed drivers. And, if that number was more around 8, I might be a little more interested. That 9,000 price tag. How could you, pass up Paul Casey for a Patrick Reed? Now, of course, the reason why I'm passing up Paul Casey, and probably why some people will be a little leery, I think it's a good course fit. Now, his putter on these greens, I think, could be, a struggle. But, he's coming out to test whatever. I think he had a wrist, and I'm not sure if he had something else, right? But he pulled out of the match play, which, hosed a lot of people. I believe he pulled out of the Masters, too. Let me just verify that. Yeah, so last time we saw him was at the Players, where I think that's where he got the injury. Did not have a good Arnold Palmer. So he's only played this year 3 times. And 2 were pretty good and 1 was bad. So, of course, you typically tee to green, one of the best. I'm shocking. I thought his driving accuracy would be a little bit higher than that over the last 12 months. Let me go look. So, yeah, he hasn't been driving it as well as he typically does over the last 4. He's making up with the irons, and it had that really good putting round. Had another good putting round at the CJ Cup, which I think that's actually bent at the Summit. Just curious. So you could look at that. And I know I had him on the cover. I like Paul Casey. I like to play him when possible, but this is one of those spots where I'm kind of off. Now, funny enough, Sergio Garcia, I'm not going to lie, didn't even know he was in the field. And just shocked that he didn't play the Mexico. That would have been I don't know who's on his team or what he had going on in his personal life, but that course, he could have definitely contended on. I mean, what a perfect fit. His length, great ball striker. You see the irons have been off over the last 3 tournaments, 12 rounds. I think paspalum makes everybody a better putter. That's my own personal opinion. But you see, he's made the last, 5 events he's played. There's paspalum there. He had a T7. But I know I will not be playing Sergio here. Would have loved to play him at the Mexico Open. All right, moving along. Mr. Max Homa, one of my favorite Mad Max. You can see, everything's fitting well from my mini model perspective. Has also been playing really good golf. T14, a T10, a T7, a T13. Not the greatest show at the Masters, but I don't think he's figured that course out yet. Also could be a bit with the putter. If we go click on Max, we can look at it. So he's 61% typically driving accuracy. You can see POA. That's typically where I really like, from a one and done or betting. Whenever that guy's going to get on POA, I typically jump on that bandwagon. But bent, it's a little negative, but, don't let that fool you. It's, against 0.17. Nothing to get too worried about. You can see he had a nice run with the putter here. So that's, POA. That would be bent. That would be POA. And then that's either Bermuda or past Palm. I think it's Bermuda, yeah. Neither here or there. We don't get a lot of information on what happened at the Masters, but that's the last time we would have saw him. But I like him. I like him here. Oh, we can click, just see where he's done all right. So the Fortinet's not, it's POA, but it's, I wouldn't say that would be a course that I would really think of a good fit, because I just think of Max as like a big course killer. Of course, he's a past winner at Wells Fargo, his first win, but that's at Quail. So you're not going to hear, there's no reason to bring up any of that, who's past winners at Wells Fargo, because this is kind of a first. The Genesis, so kind of some big boy courses. Now, TPC Twin Cities, there's a ton of water there, and that is bent. Should have probably put that in my comp. I did not. Oh, it's also over 7,400 yards, so maybe that's why. But it's a tough, it's a hard track. So it's kind of good to see. So long story short, I'm on Max. He's gonna be making a lot of my lineups. Siwoo Kim, I never get this guy right. I'll let you guys know that right now. When I play him, typically does not go so well. Like probably, I don't know if I picked him. I don't remember. I picked him for RBC, but of course that's a Pete Dye, kind of a Pete Dye specialist. But everything should line up very well for him, and his short game's been good. The putter, same thing. You can look at this from the 175, 200 over the last 3 tournaments he's played. He's ranked number 1, and I told you guys 25% of the pro shots are coming in from there. Let me go click on Siwoo. Usually pretty accurate over his last 12 months, 65% accuracy off the tee. And there you go. So it's the putter. So he lost 2.5 at RBC, lost 6 at the Genesis, or, if he just gains or neutral, he can be right in the hunt. That's a Pete Dye course there for the Amex. And we go click on, let's see where well, I didn't do a lot. I don't know if he's played the Quicken. So he actually has played this course twice and missed a cut both times. So that's interesting. But it's such a long time ago. That's why you haven't been seeing me put into Quicken Loans for these guys. It just, a lot of them probably didn't play in it, and I can't really hold it. I can't give it a pot. I mean, like a Sun Kang, when you've had 2 top, 5 showings, then yeah, I'll mention it. But you can see where he does his damage, shorter tracks, the Wyndham, the Amex, the Players, RBC. So everything kind of points that he should do pretty good here, as long as, he keeps kind of moving. It's going to be with the putter. Seamus Power, like I said, I think this is a pretty good fit for Seamus. Now, I was kind of back and forth. I mean, I guess if I'm going to mix and match, I would flip these 2 guys around. So I have no problem with playing Seamus. He just didn't make the ultimate cut. Let's go click on Seamus real quickly a little more. So pretty accurate with the driver. Bent's his best surface over his last 12 months. You can see pretty decent putter. Pretty good. I always think of him on Bermuda, and I don't know why that is. The Barbasol, that's bent. So Keen Trace, par 72. I mean, that's a pretty, I don't know. It's got some quirks to that course. It's got some hills. If this is the Barbasol, I always get the Barracuda and the Barbasol mixed up. So don't hold me to it, but it could be not a terrible, but it is bent. He had a good showing. So like I said, I have no problem. Jason Day, funny enough, when I ran him against some of the comparable courses, and this was pulling data though from like 2020, he was right up there. But again, that's so old. Do I think he could, he's that one guy that you put him in a couple lineups and he could have that 1 week. I mean, that's what he does, or he'll show up out of nowhere. Let's see here, like the Farmers, and then really nothing since. And then the Rocket Mortgage, I'm not going to count that because it's a terrible field, but he did play the Travelers back, had a 10th. That's maybe also why he popped up, because that's TPC River Highlands, the AT&T Pro-Am. So it's like miscuts, and highs. And then just boom, 7th, a 12th, So I don't know. I wouldn't mind sprinkling a little bit of them in there. But you can see, not the best recent form going on. Webb Simpson, I told you guys, he's just a hard no for me. He's not doing anything that I like Webb Simpson to do. He'll have that 1 round per tournament. I don't know what it's going to be. Sometimes it's Thursday. Sometimes if he makes the cut, it's Sunday. If Webb Simpson was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I would be all over Webb here. And of course, he'd probably be one of the 10,000 players. But I'm going to say no. You know who I'm very interested in? I talked about Mr. Cameron Young on the preview show with the bets. He was my second bet in. I got him at 40 to 1. I don't know what he's at now, but that was on PointsBet. I kind of told you guys, if you're picking some of the higher odds guys, do not bet them on DraftKings. Now, if you want to go for some long shots, go to DraftKings Sportsbook. Neither here or there. I look at Cameron Young, his skill set should be almost like a Max Homa, where Quail would have been good, of like what he did at the Genesis, longer big boy tracks. But when I saw how accurate and what he did at the RBC, now could that totally go sideways? It could. And that's kind of interesting, is 175 to 200 is not better, because I think of him as a very good ball striker. But you can see on these longer par 4s, he does very well. You can see he's making the birdies. Great ball striker. He is just a tick below, 2 ticks below 60%. So he was the other guy. But like I said, if I didn't play him after not play him at RBC. And like I said, could this have been a freak week? It could be. But, I mean, off the tee, you can see at the Arnold Palmer how many strokes he gained. The Honda, the Genesis. I mean, except for the players, which I would say that TPC Sawgrass is somewhat decent of a comp. I mean, it's just, you got to be very accurate there. So we'll see how this all bakes out. I like Cameron Young. There's not a ton of other information I can really give on you because he's, of course, he's one of the Corn Ferry grads. Well, we'll click on him, but no, because I already just gave you pretty much his recent course history. Kuchar, not a terrible, but I guess I did play him at RBC, right? He was one of my picks, and it makes sense. He has been showing up. He's at a T2 at Valero, T3. That's interesting. I didn't go that deep on Cooch. Maybe it's the price tag. It's not terrible, but I think there's guys even below him that are play. I mean, if I had to pick between Rye and Kuchar, I would probably go with Aaron Rye. But I think both of them are not bad plays here. Actually, funny enough, I'm following the Killer Keith. It has nothing to do with his showing at Wells Fargo last year because, like I said, total different course. But funny enough, he's actually had quite a bit of success on these shorter tracks, which, almost like a bit like a Cameron Young were the possibility. He's actually been pretty accurate hitting fairways off the tee. You can see he's in really good recent form. I mean, I'll click over so you can see, of course, Quail, he does amazing. And let's go click on Killer Keith. So driving accuracy, 62%, and he's got the distance. That's a deadly combination here. Just like Rory. Rory keeps it in play and gets those pitching wedge, sand wedges dialed in, anything from 100, 125. He could light this course up. Well, I don't know if anybody's going to let him in. Molinari did, but it was really soft conditions then. Moving on. You can see Killer Keith, like I said, the players. So let's just do this. So the Honda is not a bad comparable either. It's a par 70. It's Bermuda. It's a little bit tougher track, but it's a tough track, and it's got a ton of water. So you can see he managed it there. Byron Nelson's shorter. There's the John Deere. There's Honda again, of course. The RSM. That's pretty recent. Bit of water, short track, RSM. So, yeah, he's had success on tracks that you just wouldn't think about playing Killer Keith. And you can see ownership's up there, at least projected right now. Jonathan Vegas is also, not a terrible play. Let's go click on him. You can see pretty decent form. Like a Killer Keith, he's got the distance and can be pretty accurate. Less than him, but 57%, but he's got that pop in the bat. Around the green is where he struggled. We've seen him, the last time was at the Valero. Feels like it's been a while. Let's see where he's done. Canadian Open, real simple track. The Amex shorter, the 3M, not a bad comparable. The John Deere, the Honda. Yeah, I definitely think I will play some Vegas. Again, probably flipping these guys in and out, but I'm going to go with Killer Keith is my top 15. Doug Gim, and if you guys have watched me for a while, I think I picked Doug Gim out of my top 15 picks maybe once prior, and he probably missed a cut. But everything shows that this should be a good Doug Gim course. You can see from a modeling perspective over his last 3 tournaments, he has a miscut at the Valero, but again, like a TPC Sawgrass, this TPC Potomac. This TPC Potomac is, I think, not a terrible comparable to TPC Sawgrass. Pretty good showing at RBC. It's the putter with him, but you see very accurate off the tee. Like a Corey Connors, almost same distance, same accuracy. It's funny, they got 4 for him on here. So it's pretty rare. Wonder if that's from the Mexico. Yeah, that's new, having Pass Palom added in. So that's nice. Be nice if we could get more Pass Palom information. But you can see the putter, lost almost 4 strokes at the Mexico Open, 3.5, 4. Irons, that's one of the better outings, so it's good to see. Hopefully he can keep that ball striking up. And then, of course, the Amex, the players. And he should have... Oh, so he fell apart. So the players previous, he was doing a lot better, and I think he had a really bad Sunday, if I remember right. The John Deere RSM. So I think it's a good fit for him. 7,800. like I said, you could interchange any of these three guys. I think that I don't know. Like I said, I don't have where I would just one has to be other. I like all three of them. I guess is the short of it. All right, Brian Harmon. No, I've been kind of out on Brian Harmon. That's just me personally. I'm not saying it's a terrible fit, but you can see also the modeling. His irons have been off. His putter has I don't think has been as good as it was or has been. Right, he had a good Masters 2 years ago on the bent, not this previous, but one before. So I'm gonna go Streelman. I told you he holds the course record at this course, or tied with a couple other guys. I don't remember the other two now, but shot that 62 back in 2018. It's a good fit for his game, and you can see had a T7 at Valspar or T18. Plenty enough, missed the cut. Not the greatest Mexico Open, but very accurate off the tee. So that's the first thing you got to do. Funny enough, yeah, they added this past palm, so good deal. Been losing a little bit with the putter recently, but before that was gaining and was doing pretty good tee to green. So it's going to come down to the putter. Also, I remember his showing up at TPC River Highlands, which I believe is the best comp course we have. The Travelers, he's won it. He's had a second. It's a good fit for him, and he's got good past history on this course. So going to go with some Kevin Streelman, Matty Jones. You've been kind of burning me, so I'm just going to take a hard pass. If the wind gets crazy, I think that's everybody's narrative now. Play Matt Jones when it's crazy wind. That's the only time I'm going to play him. I don't agree with that, but nope. He's a little wayward. Let's go take a look. Now, if someone said, who would you want to play with? If you could pick like your foursome, Matt Jones would definitely be one of the guys because I play very fast too, almost identical to the way he plays. There's no practice swings. It's get up and hit it. But yeah, you can see he can get a little wayward with that driver. Lanto had a great Sunday at Mexico Open. That's his best showing in a while. I was actually playing against a guy in Showdown who played Lanto, and I was like, whoa. And I looked at him, I thought, because he can have that sneaky Sunday. But what did he shoot, like 7 under, 8 under? It was just ridiculous. Ended up losing by literally, actually, the Kurt Kitayama putt at the end is what made me lose because it moved him back into second, I believe, and he also got the birdie. Neither here or there. I'm going to be out on Lanto. Seb Straka, I can't make an argument. For 7,600, it's been in pretty good form, right? I mean, the putter's been hot. Had a T3 there. I really didn't even look that hard at Seb Straka. Let me go look at his off the tee just real quick. So, I mean, it's just a hair below. I've got no issues there. I mean, he's been on this crazy putting streak. I mean, Seb Straka, if you go on a look, we'll just scroll down. On his far right, this is his putting. He gets to these streaks, and he's in one right now. I mean, you can see this. Over his last 5 tournaments, he's gaining 4 strokes on the field with his putter. So if he keeps that going, no reason why he can't do well. And he, just had that win at the Honda. Again, I don't think it's a terrible comparable course. So his best 2 showings have been very recent. The Amex short track. Yeah, but I kind of think of Seb, but he was always into my kind of, I don't want to say bombers, but yeah, I mean, where of course needed some length, I wouldn't mind playing Seb. So no issues. I'm, like I said, I might sprinkle him. Funny enough, Joel Damon is a really good fit for this track. Usually I think of Joel Damon again for Bermuda greens, but he's been playing well. I know had the 12th at RBC. He had the withdrawal at Corrales. I'm not sure what that was about. Of course, I believe that's where he had his 1 win. So it was kind of crazy that he withdrew from that tournament. If anybody knows why he withdrew, let me know in the comments. I'd be kind of interested. But very accurate. Not very long, but very accurate. And you can see he's had a couple spike putting wins. It seems like every other week. So if you keep going by this, it's been positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Guess we were looking for a negative. But yeah, that was his win. His first win was at Corrales previous year, and then had to withdraw. But again, showed up at John Deere, which I think is had a second great showing. The Wells Fargo has nothing to do with it. That's a Quail. Greenbrier, TPC Old White. That's a really good comparable par 70 bent. And also was in that bigger model that I had when I did the comp courses. I don't think I mentioned that. It's a little older data. They stopped playing her. I think when Joaquin Neiman won, that was the last event that was held there. RBC. So yeah, he comps out well for here. I like Joel Damon. Neesmith, at 7,600, he just models out really well. He had a really good showing at the Valspar, at RBC, and then at Valero, where, he should fit well, misses the cut. I mean, he's, again, if you want to look, he's makes a cut, miss a cut, make a cut, miss a cut. Yeah, hopefully that trend doesn't stay. I don't know why I clicked on that because that's not going to do us any good. Let's go click on Matthew Neesmith real quick. So pretty accurate, 63%. I think he's got a little more pop in the bat than that, but 296 is his average over the last 12 months. Putter is what it's all about. And you can see, like at the Valspar, he finally gained, which is rare. You could put him like in the Luke List bucket, typically a good ball striker. The irons have been, off and on very hot. But you can see, again, the putter is what can cause him some issues. And like I said, his best finish ever on tour was the Valspar here back in March. Puerto Rico, Waste Management, Shriners, so kind of putting contest right there. Pebble Beach, short. RBC is a short track. RSM. Shriners, too, is not terrible. It's just an easy TPC Summerlin. I guess it's a putting contest. It's just an easy course. I couldn't really... Different green type and just, couldn't... Even though it's a TPC course, not a good fit. Anyways, he doesn't do too bad on these shorter tracks, so I'm going to give him a whirl. Troy Merritt, solid play. Been playing really good golf. I can't believe I think his betting odds are 35-1 for Troy Merritt. So no thank you, but I'm going to pass on Troy, even though I've been, picking him. Lipsky had that crazy round at the Mexico Open. So, I couldn't claim. I mean, he had a... So what? He was European tour. I felt like he also played a little bit on the corn, but... was running really hot, then got on the PGA Tour. Let's go take a look at that. And has just been not performing, but recently, and it looks like the putters kind of finally picked up. Let's go back to, so I'm trying to see where. So he came on. So he went, if I remember correctly, he went from the European Tour to the Corn Ferry and then graduated in his first tournament. So he got in this WGC Mexico. So Palmetto is the way I look at it. And then it was just like a string of miscuts. Showed up at the Amex, short track, and then passed Palom. So think of Lipsky when we think of the vacation swing. Seems like see if there was another one. Mayakoba, he missed a cut in Bermuda. So I don't know. These two, though, and they are pretty good comparable courses for each other. Kind of interesting. Okay, well, let me click on that. They got his past Palom putting on there? Yep, they do. So, that's where he gains the most right now. All right, CT Pan. Been playing good golf. You see, made the last 4 cuts. I don't know, say slightly improving. Models out really well over his last 3 tournaments. I don't know why, again, I clicked on that. Pretty accurate off the tee. Hits about 300. Yeah, that's cool that they got past Palm in here now. Like I said, it's too bad we couldn't get more ShotLink data from the other, like Mayakoba, Bermuda. Who knows? Maybe they will. Let's see where he's at. So, of course, he won the RBC Heritage way back in 2019. Wyndham's a short track. The Honda, not a bad comparable. That was pretty recent. There's Colonial, Charles Schwab, which was one of my comps. So, I like CT Pan. I'm going to jump on the Did You Woo 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 Brandon Wu train here. And, this guy kind of snuck up on me. I wasn't really keeping an eye on him, especially from a past Palom perspective. You can see he does very well. Now, I'll probably say maybe look at this past Palom, that's Bermuda. But, I mean, his last 3 tournaments, he's just ball striking the crap out of it. And typically, I'll warn you guys when I do this, when I jump on a guy that I'm like, okay, hey, you've got some really nice golf going, then it kind of goes sideways. But you can see, what data we have on him. Of course, graduated from Stanford. He's been on tour now. Let's see here. All right, so it comes off the corn. What plays to Puerto Rico? Yeah, so last spring. And then you can just see, like, miscut Festivus. And in his last 4. So you can see it's the putter is a bit of it. And you can also see, I bet you, his past Palm. Yeah, he's gaining, I don't know, 0.3, almost a half stroke when he's on past Palm. But I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah. And then you got Francesco Molinari, right? Past winner at this course, back when he was just getting on a heater. I think what won the British Open? The Open. Had the contention for the Masters, before he hit the pine tree and dropped the ball in the water back in 2019. So I mean, he just hasn't been playing that great at golf, but could it turn on? I mean, let's go click on him real quick. Even his accuracy off the tee. I mean, the one thing he typically did was hit fairways. It was really good with the irons, and then his putter kind of fired up, and that's what got him. So his best showing was at the Amex back in the start of the season. Had a good showing at the Genesis. There's the U.S. Open, funny enough. So yeah, I mean, no reason why he couldn't do well. I mean, again, he might be one of my, mix it up kind of guys. We'll see where his ownership's at come tomorrow. Ricky, who knows right now? I mean, I don't play him. I haven't played him forever. Lahiri's not a bad play at 7,400. No issues there. Adam Long, I kind of got him pegged as I told you guys, my vacation swing guy to go to. But you can see good showing at the Heritage. Valero, everything from a modeling perspective says his putter typically causes issue. I rode Denny McCarthy as long as I could. I don't think this is a good fit for him. He can get wayward off the tee, and you need more than just a putter. Dylan Fratelli, I like him sneakily on very long courses. He's got a lot of pop, so no thanks. Alex Smalley, I'll sprinkle him in. I didn't pick him here, but he will be played. I like Alex, especially, like I said, in Showdown. I like to pop him in there. Russell Knox, not in the greatest recent form, but this should fit him. And, of course, again, the putter. Brendan Steele, it was really close to playing him. So I'll let you know that. So he'll be getting played by me. He just didn't make my top 15. I forgot who beat him out. It doesn't matter. But if I go click on Steele for you, because I do want to show you some stuff. So the accuracy was, I think, what got me a little nervous. So Brendan Steele, if you think of Streelman and Steele, you can get him confused a little bit, but he's got the distance on the driver, but not as accurate. And the putter is typically where he's been struggling. You can see some really big losses with the putter, but gains quite a bit off the tee. Irons can be kind of hit or miss. He's done well at the Fortinet. That's a while ago. Best showing, I guess, would be the Zozo. That was a while ago. But some small tracks he's done pretty decent on. Let's plug in. I don't see what he's done at the Quicken. And that doesn't count because that's not the course we were looking for. So he missed a cut here when it was here. So, yeah, there wasn't enough for get me over the hump with Steele, but he was interesting to me. Cam Davis, from a betting perspective, 100 to 1. I'm betting him. I'll probably sprinkle him in too. Like I said, in the big game, I've been putting on average somewhere between 10 to 20 lineups. I think for RBC, I went a little nutty because I made quite a bit at the Masters, so I think I put 50 in. Again, this is just talking about the big, 250K tournament. Stewie Sink, no, I'm just going to say no. I think his game's, very hit or miss. So I got two guys left. Lucas Glover. This is not going to tell you to play Lucas Glover. But what I know about Lucas Glover, I know him well. Smell the glove, Glover. This should be a perfect fit. It's all going to be the putter. Where he had his last win at the John Deere where I picked him. That's bent. You can see very accurate. Typically a very good long iron guy. And like I said, there's the John Deere. It's kind of funny, some of this information, because he is a past major, I think PGA. He's won a major. It's been a while, and I guess it was before 2013 because it's not being pulled up here. But neither here or there. I'm on Lucas Glover for this week, and I also bet him. Mateo Schwab, Kurt Kitayama. It's going to be interesting what people do there. I'm saying no to Kurt Kitayama. I think he needs room to spray it, and this is not the course to do that. Let's click on him and see what his driving accuracy. Yeah, 53%. So no, thank you. Bo Hosler, I bet him, also has past pretty decent history here at this course. So I'm betting him. I don't know about DFS. Luke List, I also bet him. He's 130 to 1. I mean, I know he hasn't been in the best form since his win, but, if the putter goes, typically the irons and the ball striking, was pretty solid. So That's it. I mean, from a betting perspective, I don't know how much I'll play him. And then my last guy in is going to be Party Marty Laird. You know, actually ranks 8th in my model at 7,100. I think he's the best value on the board that we have. So I'm going to be playing some Party Marty. You can see he's got a couple miscuts, but a T29, T52, T39. And let's go really accurate off the tee. Drives at about 300. Poa is his best surface. And let's just see where he's done some of his damage. So he won the Shriners in that putting contest a long time ago. The Valero, Easy Track. That's so long ago. We're not going to count that. There you go. Quickens Loan. So I forgot about this. So at this course back in 2017, he's got a 3rd. That wasn't a big reason why I was playing him. It just was everything else that I liked. But this just kind of fits his game. And so I'm going to play some Party Marty. All right, let's go jump back over and I'll wrap this up for you guys. Okay, so my top 5, my Fab 5 players for the Wells Fargo Championship is as follows. Number 1, I'm putting in Corey Connors. Perfect tee to green. Make some putts for me, Corey. You're due for a win. Russ Henley, you're right there with him. Just, you know, do what you do with the irons and off the tee. Make some putts, and we could also finally get that win we've been waiting on for the last few years. Got Max Homa. You know, it's funny, all these guys fall in kind of the same bucket. I'd say historically, I'd say Henley's, he's the best putter out of these 3, then Homa, then Connors. But all really good ball strikers. I like Homa with that long 200-yard shot. Keegan Bradley, same thing. I mean, geez, I didn't really look at this. It's like a little bit team no putt, except for Henley and Max. Like I said, I look at Max as a POA specialist. Henley is a Bermuda specialist. Where Connors has had success is on Bermuda. Keegan Bradley, funny enough, where he's had some success was on Bent. And then my Cameron Young, which is a little, you know, again, out of left field, but an amazing ball striker. Did well at RBC, which, like I said, I did think was a good course fit. So why not here? Just going to have to be a little more accurate off the tee. My on deck next 5 is going to be Siwoo Kim. Again, see what the putter does. Streelman should be a great fit for him. Has had, I think, if I remember correctly, some past success on this specific course. Killer Keith has pretty good success. Great ball striker. The putter's been better on shorter courses, even though, again, we think of him as a bomber. Doug Gim. If you let me down this time, I don't know if I'll ever pick you again. So let's see it. Just make some putts, dude, and don't have a blow up. Joel Damon, typically I think of him as Bermuda, but very accurate, pretty good player on shorter tracks. So we're going to go with some Joel Damon. And then my last 5 coming in unsung. We've got Party Marty Laird. Should be a great fit for this track. And I think I mentioned he had a good, what was that him, 2017. Lucas Glover, last one was on Bent. Very similar course, TPC Deer Run. Great ball striker. If he has that great putting week, it could happen. Neesmith, same thing. Need the putter, but has had some really good showings lately. And then I told you I'm going to jump on the Brandon Wu train. This could bite me, but really, really good ball striker the last few outings. So can we get one more out of him? And then CT Pan, just solid, right? Of course, that's your gold medal winner at the Olympics a year ago, winner at RBC Heritage. So with all that said, how can you go wrong? All right, for one and done, of course, the top guys that I've told you, I think are all great. If you have Corey Connors, I think I've already spent him. Maybe it was at Valero. I don't remember now, but I don't think I have access to him. I spent Henley at the Sony. I'm pretty sure I spent Max too on the West Coast. I have Rory, but I'm going to save him. Paul Casey. I didn't really, I guess we talked, but I'm just terrified. I just don't know where his game is. It's been a while since we've seen him. It's also, where's that injury at? But if you're good with all that, I think it's Paul Casey. You couldn't go wrong. It's just, what is the putter going to do? And then Cameron Young. I look at these guys pretty similar, to be honest. I mean, Cameron Young's got a little more pop off the tee than Casey, but, you know, big forearms, good ball strikers. That's the guys that I'd be looking at. And right now, I think I have Cameron Young is where I've been leading for my one and done. It's not official. Like I said, if I had these two, I would go with one of them, Corey Connors or Henley. So do that with you may. And with that, that is my pick show. Thank you for spending some time with me. Do me the honor and click that like button. Share it with anybody else. If you are watching me for some odd reason at the first time, hey, subscribe. I put out 3 shows a week. If you like what I do, I'd appreciate that greatly. And follow me on Twitter. I will always keep you guys updated with anything I see, either from a humorous perspective, but mostly it's about, hey, watch out, this guy withdrew, or what I see on pressers and whatnot. Of course, tomorrow I'll have out my Before the Lock show, which will have ownership projections, weather, my top 5 plays from 7K and below. All right, guys, have a great day, and all the best of luck to us for this Wells Fargo. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so I'd like to bring to your attention again, Craftsman Golf. That's at www.craftsmangolf.com. And of course, you've got Mother's Day, Father's Day. If you are looking for unique gift ideas for your golfer, go check out Craftsman Golf, where they've got everything customized, American made, from head covers, putter covers, yardage book covers, GPS rangefind covers, even to charge your golf cart batteries, Sunday bags, you name it, they've got it. Give them a check, and if you purchase anything over $40, you can get $20 off by typing in the promo code GolfGuru20. So give them a look-see.